Up next is the App of the Week segment. This is a segment dedicated to app demonstrations. Should you have an app that you would like to demonstrate for our listeners, feel free to send us the recording of such an app demo to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your App of the Week.
Now we move to our App of the Week section, where Warren demonstrates the AI-enabled voice-to-text app, Wispr Flow.
Hi, Warren here for Blind Android Users Podcast. And as we continue with our App of the Week series for episode 278 App of the Week, this is demonstrating Wispr Flow, W-I-S-P-R space F-L-O-W. Wispr Flow is from a group called Wispr AI, W-I-S-P-R space capital A, capital I. Wispr Flow is a voice dictation app. In other words, if you're enjoying the Pixel dictation on your Pixel phone, this is equal to that. And I may even add that it even does better in some instances. For example, the @ symbol in an email address. So when I'm saying something at ... for example, or something at gmail.com, using my Gboard dictation, that @ is translated into Word. But with Wispr Flow, however, that symbol is inserted correctly. The same is true for the symbol colon. So today I'll be demonstrating Wispr Flow on my Galaxy S23 Plus running One UI 8.0 and TalkBack 16.x. As always, I would like to go into the About so we hear the description of the app, and then thereafter we'll come back to the installation page, install it, and get started. Now, let's hear the About.
About this app. Heading. Wispr Flow AI voice to text. Details. Voice to text that turns your voice into clean, ready to send text in any app. Free and unlimited for now. Talk naturally. Wispr Flow writes perfectly. Wispr Flow is a voice-to-text accessibility tool for Android that turns rambling speech into perfectly formatted text so you can just talk instead of type. Unlike built-in voice dictation, Flow cleans up what you say as you speak. No filler words. No broken sentences. No reformatting before you hit send. It works inside any app, including Chat, GPT, WhatsApp, Instagram, Slack, and Gmail. Whether you're texting friends, taking notes, drafting emails, or navigating pain, fatigue, or mobility challenges that make typing difficult, Wispr Flow makes it easier than ever to just talk instead of type. Flow supports users with motor impairments, Parkinson's, arthritis, RSI, dyslexia, ADHD, stuttering, visual impairments, and more. Learn more at https://wisprflow.ai/accessibility. Why people choose Wispr Flow. World's most accurate voice to text. Talk the way you normally do and watch Wispr Flow get it right. Works in every app, from WhatsApp to Slack to Instagram. Wispr Flow works everywhere. AI polished output removes filler words like and aw and catches your corrections 5 p.m. No, actually 6 p.m. turns into 6 p.m. Handles messy, real-world speech, stuttering, false starts, and self-corrections are cleaned up automatically. Flow understands what you mean, not just what you say. Dictionary. Add unique names and uncommon terms so that Flow always spells it right. Search, edit, and sync dictionary terms across devices. Auto punctuation and formatting. Punctuation, paragraphs, and numbered lists are handled for you. 100+ languages. Communicate in the language that works best for you, including Espanol, Francais, Zhonghuian, Hindi, or Hinglish. Great for texting friends when your hands are full. Writing detailed prompts to Chat GPT. Jotting down thoughts on your commute. Replying to emails while walking. Capturing ideas after meetings or before bed. Hands-free communication for anyone with motor impairments, arthritis, or RSI. Users with ADHD, dyslexia, or stuttering who prefer voice over typing. Seniors and anyone who finds typing slow, painful, or frustrating. Wispr Flow offers a 40% accessibility discount for users with disabilities, discounted pricing for seniors, and special rates for nonprofits. Accessibility service disclosure. Wispr Flow uses the Android Accessibility Service to provide universal voice dictation across all apps. This is required because Android does not provide a standard API for third-party apps to detect text field focus or insert text into other apps. Wispr Flow uses the accessibility service exclusively for detecting text fields, identifying when you tap into an editable text field so the flow bubble appears automatically by monitoring window and focus change events, inserting dictated text, pasting your transcribed speech directly into the active text field without replacing your keyboard keyboard using the accessibility input connection. Detecting keyboard visibility, showing or hiding the flow bubble based on whether the on-screen keyboard is open. Diagnostics and crash logging. Limited accessibility data, such as app performance and device identifiers, may be used to troubleshoot issues. Wispr Flow does not use the accessibility service to collect, store, or share any personal data from other apps when dictation is not active. The accessibility service is used solely for the core dictation functionality described above. We do not work around Android's built-in privacy controls, change system settings without your permission, or use deceptive interface practices. Now in early access. More coming to Flow for Android soon. For even more, check out Flow on desktop. Privacy and security. Wispr Flow takes privacy seriously with HIPAA, SOC 2 Type 2, and ISO 27001 compliance. Read our terms of service and privacy policy at https://wisprflow.ai/terms-of-service. App info. Version 1.5.2. Updated on April 1st, 2026. Downloads 500,000 plus downloads. Download size 31.60 megabytes. Required OS varies with device. Offered by Wispr AI Inc. Released on February 13, 2026.
And that's both the history and the description of the app. I'll now go back though to that installation page, and so we could tap on Install.
Play Store. About this app. Heading. Install. But. Pending. Verified by Play Protect. Navigate up. Button. Wispr Flow AI voice to text. 0%. 1%. 54%. 100%. Installing. Shortcut to Wispr Flow added on home screen.
We are done with the installation, and I'll now be tapping on Open.
Open. Button. Wispr Flow. Open drawer. Button.
Tapping on Open, we are sitting now on the Open drawer there on the top left corner of the phone. Moving to the right,
Wispr Flow. Image.
we hear the title, and just below that,
Early access.
now moving on down,
We can't hear you.
we can't hear you. In other words, it's telling you that, hey, you're going to be granting access to the microphone. After all, this is a voice dictation app, so absolutely to give it access to the microphone. Now moving on down,
To use Flow, allow the app to use microphone.
all right,
Allow microphone. Button.
and I'll tap here to allow.
Allow Wispr Flow to record audio while using the app. Button.
And I'm going to tap here to allow it.
Wispr Flow. Open drawer. Button.
Now sitting back again on that top, now putting my finger down toward the middle.
To use Flow in any app, allow display over other apps via settings.
And
Go to settings. Button.
tap on go to settings.
Appear on top. Navigate up. Button.
I'm now on that screen where I would allow Wispr Flow access to always draw over other apps.
Wispr Flow 73.46 megabytes off. Switch.
And I'm going to tap.
On.
All right, now I'm going to go back.
Wispr Flow. Go to settings. Button.
And now putting my finger toward the top.
Turn on accessibility for Flow in settings so that Flow can insert the transcribed text.
We now come about that area where they were talking about accessibility. In other words, we need to go into the accessibility area and turn on accessibility for Wispr Flow. Now go to,
Go to settings. Button.
there we go.
1.
Putting my finger down.
Allow Wispr Flow to paste in your dictations. Disabled.
At the very top of the screen, we hear allow Wispr Flow to paste in dictation, and it's disabled because we haven't done anything or given it permissions yet. Now, moving on down, it gives you instructions on how to go about enabling accessibility. In other words, allowing it to have access to the accessibility. And so here are the instructions in the event that you do not know how to get into your accessibility area. Here's what we're talking about.
1. Locate the list of apps that has accessibility permissions.
In other words, when you are in the accessibility area, then look at the install apps that would be needing accessibility access. Next.
Installed apps. 2. Locate this toggle and turn it on. 3. Don't turn the shortcut on. Wispr Flow shortcut.
In other words, don't turn on the shortcut for accessibility for Wispr Flow, you don't need that. All you need to do is to give it access to the accessibility area, and by default, a bubble will be showing up. We'll see this as we go on. Next.
Open Settings button.
So now tapping on Open Settings, I'll be opening the settings for the accessibility area. Therefore, I'm going to tap here.
Not Now button.
And we heard Not Now. We got a question.
Accessibility permission required. Wispr Flow needs access to your device's Accessibility permission required. Wispr Flow needs access to your device's accessibility features to insert your voice dictations directly into other apps. We limit what we access. Wispr Flow uses information like the app website you're in to format your dictations as emails or messages and appears if a text field is active. We do not appear in sensitive fields such as credit card forms or password fields. We respect your privacy. If privacy mode is enabled, no audio and transcription data will be stored by Wispr Flow or any third party. Transcription occurs on Wispr Flow's secure servers. Why Wispr Flow needs this? Wispr Flow inserts your voice dictations directly into emails, messages, documents, and other apps. To insert text accurately, we need permission to access your screen. What Wispr Flow accesses? The text visible on your screen and the layout of text fields to detect where to insert your voice. The name and URL of apps and websites you're using to understand context, e.g. if you're in Gmail, we format as an email. Limited text box contents from the active app to improve transcription, for example identifying the names of a recipient of an email. Information about the input field to prevent Wispr Flow from appearing in sensitive applications such as banking apps and password fields. How we protect your data. Wispr Flow does not insert text into passwords or credit card fields. Wispr Flow does not appear in banking apps or password managers. If privacy mode is enabled, none of your dictation data will be stored or used for model training by us or any third party. Zero data retention. You can turn this off anytime in settings.
There we go. That's a nice explanation. In other words, you're not going to be able to use this to dictate passwords, nor are you going to be able to use this when you're entering information on your banking apps and all of that. Now, below that, we got
Agree button.
and
Not Now button.
Not Now. I'm going to tap on Agree.
Agree button. Accessibility. Navigate up button.
That brings us now to the accessibility area, and as I indicated earlier, now I'm going to move on down to Installed Apps and tap on that to find Wispr Flow and enable it.
Installed apps. New content. Installed apps. Navigate
And
up.
I'm going to scroll toward the bottom. Since it begins with letter W, it'll be toward the bottom.
Wispr Flow. Off.
There it is, and I'll tap.
Wispr Flow. Navigate up button.
Tapping on that opens another window, just like it would with any other app, seeking access to accessibility, where it talks about why it's needing access to the area. So putting my finger near the top,
Wispr Flow. Off. Switch.
and I tap here to enable.
Wispr Flow. Allow Wispr Flow to have full control of your device. Full control is appropriate for apps that help you with accessibility needs, but not for most apps.
And there at the bottom, we've got
Deny button.
and to the right,
Allow button.
and I tap allow.
Wispr Flow. Wispr Flow. On. Switch.
And now I'm going to go back from here,
Installed apps. Wispr Flow. On.
and I'm going to go back again.
Accessibility. Installed apps. 3
I'm
of
gonna
22
go
apps
back
are in use.
again.
Wispr Flow. Open drawer. Button.
Now we're back into Wispr Flow, and now we'll continue with the setup process.
Keep Wispr Flow running. This helps Wispr Flow stay ready when you need it. You can change this anytime.
And below that,
Allow. Button.
tap on allow.
Optimize battery usage. Stop optimizing battery usage.
And now we come across battery optimization. You guys know how crazy Samsung can get when it comes to battery optimization and all of that. So give it access as much as you want.
Wispr Flow will be able to run in the background. Its battery usage won't be restricted. Deny. Button.
Or
Allow. Button.
I'll tap allow for now.
Wispr Flow. Open drawer. Button.
And putting my finger below that.
Make Flow sound like you.
All right.
Flow adapts to how you write in different apps.
Moving on down.
Start now. Button.
And we're going to click on start now.
Start now. Button. Cancel. Button.
Tapping on start now, there's a cancel there on the top left corner. And moving on down below that,
Let's personalize. Flow to you.
there we go. Let's personalize, and moving on down.
Choose how Flow formats your dictations in different apps.
And at the very bottom of the screen, across the screen, is
Start personalization button.
and I'll tap.
Cancel button.
Of course, sits on that cancel there on the top left corner. Moving on down.
How do you write your personal messages?
Now it's going to ask how we write our messages so it could adapt to how we type.
Formal, caps plus punctuation, capital J. Hey, are you free for lunch tomorrow? Let's do 12 if that works for you.
I love that sound.
Casual, caps plus less punctuation, capital J. Hey, are you free for lunch tomorrow? Let's do 12 if that works for you.
Next.
Very casual, no caps plus no punctuation, capital J. Hey, are you free for lunch tomorrow? Let's do 12 if that works for you.
Oh boy, that would be terrible, isn't it? So ideally, these are options you can choose from. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't say the state when you tap on it, but when you tap on what you want, a check mark is placed on that choice or that option. So I'm going to choose
Formal, caps plus punctuation, capital J. Hey, are you free for lunch tomorrow? Let's do 12 if that works for you.
So visually, that places a check mark to the right on the right edge of the phone, and now at the bottom across the screen is the next button.
Next button.
We're on the next page now and putting my finger down near the top,
How do you write your work messages?
and we got
Formal, caps plus punctuation, capital J. Hey, if you're free, let's chat about the great results.
next.
Casual, caps plus less punctuation, capital J. Hey, if you're free, let's chat about the great result. Excited, caps plus exclamation marks, capital J. Hey, if you're free, let's chat about the great results.
Sounds like me. Next.
Next button.
So choose one of these. I'm going to choose the first one.
Formal, caps plus punctuation, capital J. Hey, if you're free, let's chat about the great results.
Now remember, you have to double tap on what you want, and it places a check mark there. And now at the bottom, let's tap on that next.
Next button.
Now we come to,
How do you write your email?
so email, we got
Formal, caps plus punctuation, capital J. Hi Alex, it was great talking with you today. Looking forward to our next chat. Best, Mary.
I'm going to choose that one, not because of Mary, but I want the formal stuff. And now I'm going to tap on next at the bottom.
Next button.
At the top,
How do you write your other?
Formal,
caps plus punctuation, capital J. So far, I am enjoying the new workout routine. I am excited for tomorrow's workout, especially after a full night of rest.
And you can explore the other options, but I'm going to check this one.
Wispr Flow. It's quiet here. Spoken so far. 226 words.
We're now on a page that says I had 226 words. This is because I had signed into it prior to uninstalling it and all of that. But if you're starting for the first time, though, it would have taken you through screens where you would try to do voice dictation and all of that before you get to where you could do your first dictation in the actual. And now at the bottom, we've got some tabs. We've got
Selected. Home. Tab.
We have home at the bottom left, and moving right
Dictionary. Tab.
and right,
Style. Tab.
and last item on the bottom right.
Snippets. Tab.
There we go. Let's go ahead though and tap on that open door on the top left corner and see what we have in that item.
Open drawer. Button. Navigation menu. Close navigation menu.
We heard close navigation menu. Now, when you tap on that, the items or the menu pops up toward the bottom, not at the top, because at the top is a placeholder where you could have like your picture.
Profile picture.
Now, moving on down toward the bottom, as I said, almost to the bottom, we've got
Report an issue. Report an issue.
that's
Tab.
from the menu. And next one,
Share feedback. Share feedback. Tab.
next,
Settings. Settings.
next,
Tab.
and the last item
Account. Account. Tab.
is account. You can hear it saying it twice. Let's go into the settings though.
Settings. Settings. Wispr Flow. Back. Button.
Tapping on settings, we're sitting on the back button on the top left. And just below there, we got
General.
That's like a header. And
Languages. English. Languages.
languages. So if I tap here,
United States. English. Selected English.
there we have United States English selected. And toward the bottom, we've got a couple horizontal bars. The first one is
Add more. Button.
add more, and the one below it will be
Save. Button.
save. So if we tap on
Add more.
add
Button.
more, it will pop up and show you different languages. For example,
Back. Button.
we got,
Select languages.
and below that we got,
Edit box. Search. Search languages.
in other words, instead of going through the list of languages, you could type the language you're looking for just to see if it's included in the list of the many languages here. For example, I'm going to give you a few of them starting from the top. Here we've got
South Africa. Afrikaans. Albania. Albanian. Shqip. Ethiopia. Amharic. Amarnia. Saudi Arabia. Arabic. Armenia. Armenian. Haren. India. Assamese. Assamia. Azerbaijan. Azerbaijani. Azerbaijan.
well, you got the drift. I'm going to go back.
Save. Button.
And then, of course, after you've chosen that language, don't forget to tap that save there at the very bottom. Now I'm going back.
Back. Button.
And now, moving from languages, we come across,
Flow bubble size. Flow bubble size.
in other words, that bubble that you tap on, whether you hold it down to do voice dictation or tap it and then let go and let it just do dictation. You could choose how big that bubble would be. So, for example, if I tap here,
Dictate. Image.
and we see a little dictate image there in the middle of the phone, and below that we got a slider that you could adjust the size.
2.0. Slider.
And if I slide up,
3.0.
see what I mean? So I'm going to slide down again.
2.0.
All right, I'm going to go back. That's all we have here.
Back. Button.
Now, moving from that bubble size, we come across
Data and privacy.
a header that says data and privacy, and below that,
Privacy mode.
privacy mode, and to the right of it
On. Switch.
is an on switch. So if you don't want your stuff to be private, if you want Wispr Flow to use your stuff for training, then you turn this off. But if you want everything to stay on your device as described in the description, then you leave this one on. I believe I turned this one on. Then next,
Keep data stored only on your device. App version 1.5.2.
and that's the last item. I'll go back. Now, as I indicated earlier, we didn't go through the process of testing it and all of that because I had set it up before. Now I'm going to go into Keep Notes, for example.
Page 11 of 12. One UI
Yes.
Home. Sora. App
Get-
Screen. Search. Search. Edit box. Showing English. USQWERTY. Dictate. Dictate.
There's that dictate there sitting in the right side toward the top in the middle of the phone, but on the right hand, if I hold it down or if I just double tap, Keep Notes.
Done. Button. Keep notes. Window 1 UI Home.
There we
Keyboard.
are. We are in Keep
Open
Notes.
navigation drawer. Button.
And it seems like they fixed some of the problems that I reported. They're very nice people. They're working hard on trying to make it accessible because it was very hard to find that dictate as the foreground, or rather the background is overshadowing it. And so with accessibility turned on, it's hard to find it. But it seems like they fixed it some with the update. Let's open up a new note and check.
Create a note. Button. Close. New text note. Button. Note. Add. Button. Showing English. USQWERTY.
And here we are, and I'm going to put my finger at the top and
Title
see.
edit box for no title.
In the title, and I'm going to swipe because one of the issues that I reported to them is that if someone is a swiper, when they swipe, it just skips right over it. I'm going to see if it's been fixed or not. Let's see.
Editing. Note. Edit box.
And if I swipe again,
Add. Button.
you can see that it skips over that dictation or that dictate button. That dictate, as I indicated, is toward the top. like about 2.5 inches or 3 inches from the top, at least on my device. And don't forget that your keyboard is still showing at the bottom of the screen. In other words, whether you're using Gboard or some other keyboard, virtual keyboard, that keyboard will also be visible at the bottom of your screen. Now I'm going to put my finger down and see if I could find that dictate. Sometimes it's easier to find in other apps than it is in others. For example, I was having difficulty finding it, especially in Keep Notes. Now put my finger down.
Note title title note. Note title title note title title note note title title. Dictate. Note dictate. Note dictate. Image.
You see how difficult it is? Now I'm going to double tap. Hello, this is Warren Carr, and I want to sincerely thank you so much for allowing us to come your way again. If you would like to contact me, just feel free to send me email to Colin warcar@gmail.com. That's warcarr@gmail.com. We want to thank you so much again for allowing us to be part of your day and always take us with you. Thanks a lot to listening to the Blind Android Users Podcast.
Note title title note. Done button. Editing. Hello, this is Warren Carr, and I want to sincerely thank you so much for allowing us to come your way again. If you would like to contact me, just feel free to send me an email to warcare@gmail.com. That's warcare@gmail.com. I want to thank you so much again for allowing us to be part of your day and always take us with you. Thanks a lot for listening to the Blind Android Users Podcast.
And now I'm going to change my granularity to lines, words, and characters and go over to be sure that those symbols are inserted as intended. So let's change.
Words. Lines. Android Users Podcast. With you, thanks a lot for listening to The Blind.
I'm going backwards.
S to be part of your day and always take us. I want to thank you so much again for allowing. OTCOM. D. To warcare@gmail.com. That's warcare@gmail.
I'm going to change to words here.
Words. To.
Change to characters.
Characters. Colon.
I'm going backward.
O. Oscar.
Sure.
T. Tango.
Is that two?
T. O. Colon. Space. W. A. R. C. Charlie.
I think it put 2 R's there. Let's go to the next one where I spelled it out.
Words. @gmail.com.
Okay.
That's.
So that's
Warcare.
Let's look at this one. I spelled it out.
Characters. W. A. R. C. A. R. At. G. Golf.
There you go. So it works. Now, as I indicated earlier on, sometimes it's easier to find that dictate in some other apps, and other times it's hard to find, especially as you could see, I was struggling to find it there in the Keep Notes. Remember, you cannot swipe to it. So use Explore by Touch to find the dictate. Now, another thing is that you can just hold down and just keep holding while you dictate. And once you're done, you let go and it will just insert what you just voice dictated. For me, I just double tap, let go, and I had to find the done button and tap on it. And it didn't insert the word done from the screen reader, so that was good. Let's try one more before we close this.
Create a note button.
Let's
Close.
try another one real quick.
New text note. Note. Navigate up button.
And
Showing
I'm gonna
English.
try to
US
find that
QWERTY.
dictate.
Note. Dictate. Image. Done button.
All right, I started by touching the done button, and I hope though that it did not insert the word done at the beginning. So yeah, I think that's what it is. I'll stop here. Now I'm gonna touch that done again.
Done button. Note title note.
All right, I'm gonna put my finger down.
Editing. Alright, I started by touching the done button, and I hope, though, that it did not insert the word done at the beginning. I think that's what it is. I will stop here now. I'm going to touch the done again. Edit box, note.
So as you can see, the word done that TalkBack said didn't get inserted in there, so that's a good thing. And that would conclude this demonstration of the Wispr Flow. As always, if you like what we're doing, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until we see you next time, have a good one.
So you seem to quite like this app, didn't you, Warren?
Indeed, I actually like that Wispr Flow, and that's WISPR, like we indicated in the demo. Now, what I like about it that stands out for me, though, is a couple things, and most especially maybe three, maybe even more, but most especially, saying the @ symbol or the colon symbol, for example, in as much as I like my pixel dictation or Gboard dictation, those symbols are not translated, right? It just translates them as word, but this Wispr AI actually inserts the correct symbol, and that's what I like. And then another thing that I like is that, for people that are stammering, or maybe you're trying to find your thought and you're kind of or whatever, it doesn't insert that in there. And so I think it's a huge thing. And frankly, I like their approach. As you can hear in the description, though, if you have some disability, you'll have a break, you have a discount, and I don't know how much that is, but right now they're not charging anything yet because it's still in its early stage. But just keep that in mind, that as a blind user, when it gets into that phase where they start charging for it, you'll get a discount. I don't know how we make them know it. Maybe they're based from detecting that we are using accessibility. I mean, everybody needs to enable accessibility in order to use it, but we'll see how that pans out. But I say that I like the app, and most especially when it's not catching my talkback. It was catching it, and I reported that to them, and they're very responsive. They're working on it and trying to fix those issues that I mentioned while I was demonstrating it. So give it a try, because this is something that works on every Android, I suppose to be so. So bring nice voice dictation to everyone instead of the Pixel one, only on Pixel devices.
There is something that you wanted to add. Just go ahead and add it.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Gary. This is why I love this girl.
You said that this would pass, and I'm not saying anything about the deal between us.
This is why I love this girl. Another thing, Karen and I were talking about it prior to me recording this demo was the ability to see if one can easily find it using the G-Show, aka Confused Screen Reader. Let's give it a proper name if you're me, if you'll be able to find it. And so she was going to help me find that out. Karen, how did that go?
I let it pass. This wasn't the thing that you had to do. Actually, you had to, the deal was that you had to say that in the demo that it works with G-Show. So actually, now back to seriousness. The good thing about this application is that you can use it with G-Show Screen Reader even when using the accessibility volume. So it's a known fact that if you are using Gboard's voice input, it's not possible to use the GShow screen reader accessibility volume and the voice input simultaneously. So you have to disable accessibility volume and use the media volume for GShow for voice input to work. Otherwise, it won't work. So the good thing about this application is that after testing it, it's possible to keep keep accessibility volume for GShow and just go ahead and input what you want to input. There won't be any conflict between the two. It's actually hard to, as Warren already mentioned in the demo, it's hard to find the pop-up or the overflow button. The overflow button that is on the screen. Sometimes it's really tricky. At least when I tried it with WhatsApp, it was so much tricky to the point that I gave up finding it. With other apps, it worked better, but it's really tricky. But well, I think there are positive things about it and there are negative things. One of the things that I don't like is that it's on an online engine. I know it supports many languages, so it has to be online. But I'm not a fan of just sending every bit of whatever the person speaks to an online server and then getting the response. But it's really accurate. I tried it with Arabic and English. It does a good job, actually. But, I'm not the voice input fan, but it works for people who like to test it out. And I think, Warren, they told you that they are going to work on improving the discoverability of the overflow button, right?
Indeed, that's one of the things that they promised they're going to work on. And especially when I told them, a lot of blind people like to swipe, not trying to explore the screen. And so if they could make it to where someone could just swipe to it, that would be perfect.